ExtraThicc!
What's poppin', YouTube? ExtraThicc Games back at it again, doing what I do best, and that is bringing you guys out episode reviews way after they've aired, and right when you're getting ready for the next one, when the episode that I'm talking about is falling out of relevance. Hey, that's what working full-time will do to you. But I know I ramble on a little too much in the beginning of my videos, so I'm just going to go ahead and get right into our recap and review of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS episode 73, The Light Blade That Slices Through Despair. So the episode starts off with Lightning and Jin being pursued by Flame and Soulburner right in the midst of Blood Shepherd's onslaught against the army of Bit and Boot. So Soulburner is talking to Flame. He's, I guess, mid-conversation when the episode starts, and Soulburner's repeating what, I guess, Flame had said prior, saying, oh, so the real battle's just now beginning. I thought the battle was pretty serious already. But no. Flame is, he's putting emphasis on how important that this upcoming match between them is going to be, and that the fight will be over when Lightning is defeated. Okay, I said I was going to get right into it, but I got to rant here real quick. I cannot wait to see Soulburner just get absolutely wrecked here. This needs to happen. Soulburner needs to get his smug punk self just absolutely dominated for once. He has won entirely too many games that he did not deserve to win. His character is just not interesting. He's a smug punk. That's really all he is. He's somewhat of a Jesse to Playmaker's Jaden, except it's too early in the show for that. And even then, when Jesse was introduced, he lost to Jaden immediately upon meeting him. Like, we don't need two undefeated protagonists, and I can't even begin to describe how utterly lazy it was in Soulburner's duel against Blood Shepherd when it's ended in a draw. It's ended in a draw, right? We don't know who would have won it at that point. But the whole arc, right, of Blood Shepherd using Soulburner's fear against him, no, we don't even get a character arc. We don't get anything for Soulburner to progress. He's just apparently already there. He had already conquered those fears. How lazy can you absolutely get? Like, look, I cannot wait to see what Lightning can do, and I just want to see Soulburner lose for once. Is that too much to ask, Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS? Is that too much to ask? It's okay. Rant over, guys. Back to the review. So, immediately after this, the episode switches over to Playmaker and Bowman, right? And last we saw, Bowman had, I guess, kind of given Ai a couple of props, maybe, when he said he was a special Ignis. And he goes ahead to elaborate on that, saying how he acts on instinct, prioritizing his own enjoyment and entertainment when none of the other Ignises originally had that. You see, they were only ever able to think rationally, but after being exposed to and living with Ai, the other Ignises developed this as well and were able to kind of learn their own unique traits. But Bowman says that this isn't necessarily a bad thing. He says that Ai is valuable because if everyone's only thinking rationally, then there's no diversity, and then if that's the case, then there can be no evolution, which of course that's going to be what he's about because he claims to be this evolved AI, right? But all this exposition is concluded when Bowman begins his turn with life points that are fewer than 1,000. And we know that this is going to be pretty bad for Playmaker and Ai because you know what's coming. You got Storm Access, because everyone's got Storm Access now, I guess. Let's just ruin the uniqueness of that. But I digress. Because of how severe the current data storm is, he's going to be able to pick out a pretty powerful monster from this current storm. And he goes right for it, and Ai is over here all freaking out because he thinks that it's so severe and so strong that it's going to rip off his arm, just like it did to Revolver. the time that him and Playmaker speed dueled the second time. But no, Bowman straight up just powers right through it and shoots right through the data storm and collects his new monster. Then, by using the counter-based properties of his trap card property Flash, he is able to then summon said Link monster, a Link 4 Hydrodrive monster, with a very odd kind of effect, almost pretty reminiscent of the old-school Archfiend monsters, in the sense that it revolves around a die roll, and he gets an effect based on whatever the roll is. So the monster is called Rousing Hydrodrive Monarch, and its special ability is that Bowman gets to roll a die, and each of the 6 sides has a corresponding attribute. And if he lands on it, all monsters of said attribute get destroyed, and his opponent will then take 500 damage for each one destroyed in this method, and he goes ahead and activates that ability. Now, I comment on how this just absurd strategy is ridiculously unlike an AI to use luck to determine if he's going to win the duel or not. To which Bowman retorts that odds are luck, and with all this luck, it provides endless possibilities for his diversity that he's into now, right? So he goes along with it. And of course, because plot armor, the die roll ends on the corresponding attribute of Dark, which destroys Playmaker's Cyber's monsters, and he takes 1,000 damage for the both of them that are destroyed. Uh-oh, now Playmaker's field is wide open. And now for a pretty cool back and forth kind of moment in this Duel End episode. Bowman goes ahead with his direct attack on Playmaker with his Hydrodrive monster, but Playmaker is able to summon Dotscaper from the graveyard to protect himself. But Bowman, rather, has a card that forces the Dotscaper into attack mode with 0 attack points, so Playmaker will still lose. But then Playmaker, he saves himself one more time. He's able to swap out the Dotscaper with his Link Karibo, who's got the ability to reduce the Hydrodrive monster's attack points to 0, and buying him another turn. So I apologizes to Playmaker, saying how it's his actions and his own decisions that had led Playmaker and them to the spot, but Playmaker, cold as ever, says that how he wasn't being influenced by anyone, he couldn't be, and his actions are his own, and they share those kind of moments like they usually do, until it's pointed out that it's their turn and they've got less than 1,000 life points. You know what time it is, but I comes in with this sort of this Deus Ex moment, saying, right, how since he learned of the Cyber's world's destruction, he's been working on this program, huh? And it just so happens to now have been completed. Huh? Oh, no, it's even better. Apparently he's had it this whole time, but is just now choosing to reveal it, despite having it all along and could have used it at any point, but no, now's as good a time as any, right? But, as if the anime tropes weren't enough here, not only does Playmaker buy into this BS, but Haru and Bowman apparently expected it. So what is this new technique, this new weapon? It's Neo Storm Access, which allows Playmaker, when he has 1,000 or fewer life points, to, get this, reach into the data storm and take out one random Cyberse monster for his ExtraThicc. So it's just like regular Storm Access. So to set up for his new play, Playmaker is able to banish his ritual monster and spell to get 2 tokens out onto the field, and Bowman starts to use the Hydrodrive monster's effect, but holds up because he wants to see what kind of diversity and all of that Ai's instinct was able to come up with. Like, that's not gonna come back to bite him, right? Regardless, he takes those 2 tokens and is able to link summon into Cyber's Wicked. God, the puns are real with this show. But with that one on the field, he's able to summon another monster from his hand, and then, because it becomes linked with something, he's able to search out Cyber's Synchron. No. I call shenanigans on this. This is absurd. Like, oh, I understood when Revolver did it, because, you know, he had been missing for half the season, and he comes back with a whole new look and all. Like, it is very possible that he could have been learning synchro summoning and getting these new cards. Hell, he could have been inventing synchro summoning in this franchise, in this continuity. And I could have even understood when Playmaker kind of came up with fusion summoning and ritual summoning, right? Because there had been some established gap of time in between seasons 1 and 2. So it's obvious that he would have progressed and enhanced his skills and maybe found out how to do those things. Maybe got his hands on a couple new cards. But now, just because Revolver was able to synchro summon, nope. Now Playmaker's got to do it too because protagonist, right? And I can't even justify this because of the Neostorm access being like, oh, because of this, it doesn't have to be a Link monster. It could have been a Synchro monster. No, that's crap! That doesn't... Because he would have had to have the Cyber Synchron monster in his main deck already, which, why would he have that if he didn't have any knowledge of Synchro summoning or Synchro monsters? Because that monster would do absolutely nothing for his deck without that. But no, Neostorm access gives him the Synchro monster, but he already just had the main deck Synchron monster? No, this is shenanigans. What are you doing, Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS? Just what? Anyway, Bowman tries to stop this nonsense from happening by using the Hydrodrive Monarch's effect, and miraculously, please say he stops this nonsense, he lands on Dark again, so all the monsters are gonna get destroyed, and this nonsense is gonna be over. No, that doesn't happen. No, Cyber's Wicked apparently, protects itself, and okay, so it protects itself when it's linked, and it searches out a good monster from the main deck and lets you summon it. Okay, it's a pretty good card, but it's still BS that Playmaker has it. So, Playmaker is able to successfully summon the Cyber's Quantum Dragon, the Synchro monster that he has. And when he attacks the Hydrodrive monster, it's able to bounce it back to the extra deck and give it a second attack. Oh boy, Playmaker's got this one in the bag. Except he doesn't. Bowman is able to activate a card from his graveyard called Hydrodrive Scabbard, which, when he has Hydrodrive Link monsters of water, fire, earth, and wind in his graveyard, he's able to banish them all and reduce the damage he takes by half and inflict it on both of them, forcing a draw and allowing Bowman to escape. Okay, just what? This is the 4th time that they've pulled some nonsense like this. Okay, not 4th time in the season, but 4th time in the show. And okay, I'll give it to the first 2 times when Revolver forces the draw. Okay, both of those made sense. The first time he was luring him into a master duel, and then the second time he wanted to go be with his dying father. You know, that worked. And then the 3rd time we have already heard my opinions on the conclusion of the Soulburner Blood Shepherd duel, but now we're doing this for a 4th time with someone as just uninspired as Bowman, right? And this is the 3rd duel in 1 season that we've had with Bowman, right? So this means that he's still going to be kicking, and that there's going to have to be a 4th Playmaker Bowman duel. Like, I'm positive that Yugi and Kaiba didn't even duel this much in the entire first Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, much less in 1 season. Movies aside, but we're going to just go ahead and give this to Bowman, a character that people were either unsure about or just straight up didn't like, because he was too just unnecessarily complicated and confusing and inconsistent, and we're just going to give him all of this undeserved screen time while we're going to brush aside more interesting and superior characters like Onizuka, like Blue Girl, Blue Angel, and Ghost Girl. Where's she at? What happened to her? We haven't seen anything about her. Blood Shepherd hasn't even said anything. The last time we saw her was when she was being threatened by the Blood Shepherd. Where are these good characters, and why are we focusing on someone so stupid as Bowman? Meanwhile, Flame senses that Playmaker and Bowman's duel has ended with no decisive winner, and that they're both out of Link of Brains. So, okay. Maybe this episode is salvageable. Maybe I'm going to get what I wanted here. So they're about to go after Lightning, right? When they're cut off by the army of Bit and Boot, because Blood Shepherd apparently didn't get them all. And that led for the opening that allowed Lightning and Jin to escape. And then Flame and Soulburner just decide to leave. They just log out. I am just absolutely, positively steaming right now. I did not think that one episode could piss me off so much in such a short span of time. It means, like, this entire encounter, leading all the way back from, like, episode 69, like, all of it was entirely pointless, except for, maybe we got to at least see all of the Ignises and their designs and their personalities, as if nobody remembered episode 1 when we saw them all anyway. But, none of this mattered. Revolver's duel against Wendy, as much as I loved it, that didn't matter, because Lightning escaped and is going to be able to heal him. All this, this final stand that Bowman had been talking about, this beat me and I will disappear and you can take on my master, you can take on Lightning and try to stop this. No, he's still kicking to duel another day. We don't get to see what kind of a domineering and fearful force that Lightning's supposed to be, because, he's pegged to be the season's antagonist, and we've got no reason to care. We've got no reason to be afraid of him. We haven't seen anything about what this guy can do. And worst of all, Soulburner hasn't lost her game yet. So back in the real world, Kasane and Playmaker meet up with the human version of Revolver, and he knows all about the enormous failure that has been the last 2 episodes, but he gives them a program that'll protect them against the Ignis attacks. I doesn't trust it, but Playmaker goes ahead and plugs it in immediately. I acknowledges that it's a great program, and they go ahead and ask him why, and he gives them the whole the enemy of my enemy is my friend sort of spiel, and then he pieces them out, and hopefully this gift of his will help them get it together and actually do something of consequence this season. I won't hold my breath. This is usually the part where I give just a few words of what I thought and what I hope for looking forward, but I think I've ranted long enough in the little asides. I didn't like this episode. I didn't at all. After they brought Revolver back and he had his duel with Wendy, I didn't think I was going to have anything to complain about in this season again, because they were just bringing it all together and it started just working. But it just seems like they don't have the balls to make a decision with what they're trying to do. That nothing of consequence is happening. The best I can say is that the episode that airs late tonight at tomorrow, God, I made this review pretty late. This was the end of a kind of mini arc, so anything can happen going forward, and I can be optimistic that it's going to be something good. Please, for once, please. Until then, stay thick.
Extra thick!